Good morning, Mr. VP's teachers and Christians. I want to introduce you all to a girl who was assertive, radiant, and dauntless. She loved who she was as a person, and life was a breeze. Notice that I used past tense because she's not here right now. She was being treated somewhat differently and started to wonder why. Was it because she looked a bit different, or was it her culture? This girl quickly realized that people started emphasizing these differences between them and her, and she, who was once unassuming and bold, is now muted and hampered by a jumble of insecurities. I'm Lakshana Ganesan from Class 4-4, and I'm here today to talk about race, and not primarily racism, but racial inclusivity. One cannot explore the good without the bad, so I would have to explore some instances when racism rears its ugly head, only to assert that it is still pervasive in our society today. And while I cannot speak for everyone, I can certainly say that it has affected me in numerous instances. Racism is the belief that all members of each race possesses characteristics, abilities, or qualities specific to that race, especially so as to distinguish it as inferior or superior to another race. The reason why this is highly problematic is because race has always been such a pertinent issue in our nation's narrative. Race has been inbred in our country's history, right from Singapore's induction as a nation in 1965. On the day Singapore had gained independence, our then Prime Minister Mr. Lee Kuan Yew said that Singapore will be a multiracial nation and that we will set an example to the region. To quote his speech, "This is not a Malay nation, not a Chinese nation, not an Indian nation. Everyone will have his place, equal, language, culture, religion." I'm sure most of you all know that one of the main reasons why Mr. Lee fought for Singapore's independence is because of his vision of having a multiracial country with equal opportunity for all. This is important for an imperative reason. Those who fail to learn from history are condemned to repeat it. Our founding fathers made multiracialism the fundamental principle and impetus on which our social fabric rested. Why do you think we recite it every day in the pledge? Regardless of race, language, or religion. It is a constant reminder to us all to uphold and practice inclusivity, and not to ostracize anyone based on these attributes. Sadly, this is not the reality we live in right now. Along the way, from then till now, ideals such as harmony and tolerance have slowly been displaced by hate speech and xenophobia, by tiny aggressions and events that have happened in our society. Despite being a highly progressive nation, a large number of Singaporeans have stereotypical views about each race, and we tend to act on that by either making very callous comments, or we are simply quick to judge the people of different races. I hope this does not sound like an exaggeration too. To all of you seated here today, please take a moment to reflect on whether you have been on either side of the phenomenon. Have you ever made uninformed remarks about someone after learning their race? Or have you been on the other end of the spectrum, where you feel like people have judged you unfairly based on one of these characteristics that is innate to you? I undoubtedly have been in the latter group. While I love and respect my peers, I can definitely say that I have faced many cases of racial discrimination by classmates, passerby, and even friends. Whether they realize it or not is a different matter altogether. But I have definitely felt it. Most of the time, I laugh it off, as I don't want to make a big deal out of it. But it is hurtful, intentionally or unintentionally. The things they say sometimes makes me feel uncomfortable in my own skin. Words or punchlines like, "Oh, her hair is so big and curly. She probably has lice." Or, Look at the contrast between her skin color and the white shirt she's wearing. So ugly. The actions like showing me disgusted faces, speaking in other languages just so that I wouldn't be able to understand, makes me feel alienated. Like I do not matter. I or skin color does not define anyone. It surely is an integral part of our lives, but it should not affect how we view, regard, and treat each other as people. Race should not be a divider. It should not be a factor in which people base their decisions on who to be friends with or who to hire. It is what's on the inside that truly counts. Our values, morals, and character. We are all bonded by a common humanity. We each have a responsibility to make it better. Each one of us should be treated equally without discrimination. We all have rights to equal opportunities. We should not deny anyone that right based on trivial aspects such as their appearance or where they come from. Even as a 15-year-old, I can assertively say that small instances of racism are still commonplace in our society. From my own lived experiences, the first step of solving any problem is to acknowledge that there is. Over the years, there have been numerous workshops, talks, lessons, and activities conducted not only to raise awareness, but also to help diminish the social barriers people have built based on race. I strongly encourage you guys to take part in such events because I had many great takeaways from participating in the Orange Ribbon Walk last November that was held to raise awareness and mitigate racism. There was an activity called the Tea Talk Corner that brought people of different races, ethnicities to come together as one to discuss racial matters. Exchanging recounts with other people was so powerful and made me feel like I'm not alone. It was really heartwarming to see genuine smiles on everyone's faces as we bonded, creating a homely and inclusive environment. At the Orange Ribbon Walk, our president, Madam Halima Yacob, said that multiculturalism can only exist with an open-minded community and through conversations. There is only one human race. The rest is just our own creations, which divides us. In school, the CCE lessons has also taught me that we should be cautious of what we say when interacting with people of different races. We should treat people how we want to be treated. We should start standing up for those who face racial discrimination instead of just watching, or even worse, laughing together with the rest. We should stop neglecting people of different races and ethnicities. We should stop focusing on our differences and start focusing on our commonalities. I am grateful that I have friends who are conscientious and mindful this way, which we all should be too. Remember the girl I introduced at the beginning of my speech? The carefree, radiant girl who viewed the world with positivity before society made her feel somewhat ostracized and dejected. I am proud to stand here before you to tell that she is here again. Through the hardships she has risen through and gained back her strength tenfold, tenacity, and confidence, armed now with an indomitable spirit through those trying times, learning how to continually accept herself. As a matter of fact, I've never felt greater. Thank you.